Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Andrew Murnane podcast. Thank you so much for joining. I'm very excited about starting a podcast. I posted my first episode yesterday, and so far, people seem to like it. People seem to like listening to me talk about stuff, so that is good to see. So basically, this podcast is just going to be like, in general, the Andrew Murnane podcast is just going to be moving forward, like picking a topic, talking about it for, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes, just giving my views on it. Basically, most of the things I talk about on TikTok, just being more fleshed out, I guess. So I hope you guys enjoy it, guys and gals, men and women, and fuck, do I have to re-record this? I'm not. That's the other thing is I'm just doing one take. So sorry if I offended anyone. All right, I gotta stop talking about that. Jesus Christ. Okay. So so today I'm going to be talking about gratitude and whether or not I think it is the key to happiness and why I think it is a very important practice. So and I was saying before, I am just going to do this is going to be like a one take podcast. So I'm not going to spend much time editing, if any time editing. I'm just going to download this recording, upload it onto the podcast platforms, probably upload the video onto YouTube, upload some clips onto TikTok. But if you are here listening, please toss me a follow. If you're interested in following along on this journey, I'm going to try and post at least a few times a week. I do enjoy posting these. So, yeah, without further ado, is gratitude the key to happiness? I do think it's up there with one of the biggest keys to happiness. And, what is gratitude? Taking a step back, gratitude is just the active remembrance of all the things that you already have, all of the good. Good is a word I use sparingly. I don't necessarily think things are objectively good or bad. It's very much dependent on the context and the situation, and things that seem really good could end up being really bad. I'm not going to get into that right now. Is gratitude the key to happiness? Yeah, I think it's really important to remember all of the good things in your life. And I think it's something that people don't do often enough. It's something I try to do every single day, every single morning as part of my morning meditation routine, is to just remember all of the things that are going on in my life that I'm grateful for, basically. And I keep it very, very basic is the other thing. The other key point I want to get across is you don't have to be grateful for some like crazy extravagant stuff. Like you can only be grateful when you get a new job and shit. It's like you can be grateful for probably hundreds of things right now, no matter who you are. And I like to keep it really basic. And I think the more basic you can keep it, the more happiness and the more often you'll be able to derive happiness from practicing gratitude. So, some things that I am grateful for that I remember every morning is that I have 2 arms and 2 legs, for example. I have 10 fingers and 10 toes. Not everyone has 2 arms and 2 legs. I know my life would be significantly different if I had 1 arm or just 1 leg. And I think it's really hard to get too worked up about day to day things, day to day issues, struggles that we have when we remember how much we have to be grateful for. Like, whatever problem you have right now or issue you're dealing with, imagine if you were dealing with it with 1 arm or 1 leg, or you were blind, or you couldn't hear, or you couldn't speak. You know, those things that I just listed are probably insanely more difficult to deal with and manage than whatever you are dealing with right now. And I'm not trying to belittle anyone's issues or problems, but I think it's really important to just remember how much good you already have in your life, and just remember how much you have to be grateful for as often as you can. And I think the act of doing it can really put you in a good or at least a better headspace when you take that second to actively remember all of those things. So another point I want to get across is that like how gratitude relates to the law of attraction and the fact that the universe is based in abundance. So typically people have this misconception of how you get what you want, like you have to work really hard for it. And yes, there are certain things you have to work really hard for to get, but typically the more you want something, the more you are telling the universe that you don't already have it. And the universe doesn't necessarily give you what you want, it gives you more of what you already have. So by being grateful for all of the things that you already have, the universe will just give you more of it. So rather than, you know, wanting love or really wanting to be confident, be grateful for all of the love that you already have, and the universe will bring you more of it. If you want to be confident, be grateful for whatever confidence you already have. Like, even if it's you think you're not a super confident person, like, there's definitely situations where you've exuded confidence. So just be grateful for those situations. Or if you want more money, you know, don't wish that you had more money. Don't like long for more money and dream about having more money. Be grateful for all of the money that you already have and focus on that as opposed to the money that you don't have. There's always more money to be had out there. I don't know. Does that make sense? There's always, yeah, no shit. There's more money to be had out there. Like, but my point is that by focusing on what you already have, it will be, you will derive a lot more happiness from focusing on what you already have, is basically the point I want to make. And just the more often that you can remember all of the things that you already have and actively practice the act of being grateful for these things, the not only the more happiness you will derive, but the more of those things you will get. Something else I like to think about is imagining if tomorrow the only things I had were the things that was grateful for today. So tomorrow I lost everything except the things that I remembered that I was grateful for today and actively thought about. So that helps me to constantly be thinking about and be remembering all the things that I'm grateful for, especially, the basics, like I mentioned earlier, having 2 arms and 2 legs, the ability to see, the ability to hear, the ability to taste, touch, smell. These are all things we take for granted so often, and yet we don't remember how different our lives would be if we didn't have these things. Like, how much money, this is another way to think of it, and I'm jumping around here. I don't really have a guide for this podcast. I'm just going off of things that are popping into my head as I go. So I apologize if I'm jumping all over the place. But anyway, fucking now I forget what I was going to say. I was talking about gratitude, being grateful for all the things. Oh yeah, yeah. So how much, so thinking about those basic things like see, hear, smell, taste, touch, you know, your limbs, having 10 fingers and 10 toes, like think about it this way. How much money would you need to be paid to lose an arm? How much money would you take to give up your smell or taste or ability to see or ability to hear? Maybe some of you have a number that comes up, but for me, it's priceless. No amount of money would cause me to want to give up my ability to see or hear or smell or taste or touch or any of my limbs. They are priceless things. So by remembering that, you know, you think that maybe you think that you're poor or you don't have a lot of money. And it's not that you're necessarily going to sell your body parts or sell your ability to see or hear or taste or touch, but by remembering those things and how valuable they are, you really do have a lot of wealth. Like, when you put it in perspective like that, like how much would you give up to or how much would you need to get paid to give up your arm or leg? It's probably a fucking shitload of money. Or maybe it's priceless and you wouldn't want any amount of money in order to give those things up. Um, so, yeah, another way to think about it. Going back to the law of attraction. So, the way the law of attraction works is basically like you have something you want. Maybe, say, for example, this is something that I was writing down, sort of manifesting using law of attraction for, was gaining more followers on TikTok. So I would write down every morning for a few weeks, month, I'm grateful and my heart is so warm now that I have 500,000 followers on TikTok. So it wasn't that I wanted 500,000 followers on TikTok, it was that I already believed that I had it. So the way the law of attraction works is basically you just believe that you already have what you want and start living your life like you already have whatever it is that you want, because then the universe will start giving you more of it. So by being grateful, even past, like before I talked about like being grateful for the basics, you can also be grateful for things like maybe you don't actually have them right now, but if you start being grateful for them, you will only get more of those things. And so by being grateful for, you know, having $100,000, your mind, your subconscious will begin programming ways to get and have $100,000. So it's maybe like you don't actually have it right now, but by saying things like, I am grateful and my heart is so warm now that I have $100,000, it will send signals into your subconscious. I don't know exactly how the fuck it works, but it will. And like your subconscious will begin thinking about ways for you to make $100,000 and to get that $100,000. Same thing happened for me on TikTok. Like I started doing the manifesting with like saying I'm so grateful and my heart is so warm now that I have 500,000 followers. And I had like 150,000 followers when I started doing that. And it wasn't that caused me to get 500,000 followers exactly, like directly, but it did start this subconscious pattern where I was always thinking about new video ideas. And it was like very, very easy for me to come up with video ideas because that is how I gain followers, by posting videos that people like, they see them, they follow me. Like that's kind of the process. It's like putting out mass amounts of content that is well said, well thought out, and that people enjoy listening to and watching enough that they decide to follow me. So that is how it happened. So my subconscious was constantly churning out video ideas. And so it led me to making it basically made it easy for me to post more content by believing that I already had all those followers. It caused my subconscious to think of ways to basically get to that many followers because I already believed that I have them. So it was like the universe just wanted to give me more of them. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much everything that I want to say about this. But basically, long story short, gratitude is an incredibly powerful tool, and it's something that I don't think enough people remember to do often enough. We take so many things for granted, but just by taking, a few minutes in the morning or at night or throughout the day to actively remember all of the things that you have to be grateful for, all of the amazing things that you already have, will not only help you to feel better, but it will also bring you more of those things. And, even imagining scenarios where you don't have some of the things that you're so grateful for, like, imagining what your life would be like with only one arm or only one leg, or having, less love in your life than you already have. Like, there are so many things that you already have to be grateful for. And if you had less of them, that's what you would want. So it's almost like the problems that you think you have right now would fall by the wayside, because there's so many things that you already have that would be, if you didn't have those things, a bigger problem. So anyway, just try to remember to be grateful a little bit more often. I think it'll help you a lot. I hope this rambling was beneficial. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll have more episodes coming out soon, so make sure you follow. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Talk to you later. Peace.